Good everyone, my name is Graphics. Today we want to construct an epicycloid. In our previous videos we have constructed the likes of cycloid. We said a cycloid is knowing the paths at which a point on the circle form when it moves on an horizontal surface. Right? That means if I have a circle, probably I place a circular object on the horizontal ground this way. This is my circular object moving on the ground. Now this circular object, when it is rolling on this horizontal surface, it will form a locus or a path. If I take a point on that circle, as the circular object continue moving around the circle, round on the horizontal surface, then this path is being formed. But in case of an epicycloid would be along a curved path. Like if I have a curved path this way and I have a circle moving on the curved path, right? Now what will be the path formed? If I just take a point, probably this is the point I'm taking. As this circle continues rotating around this curved path, it will form what? A locus. And that locus will be what we call what? The epicycloid. Right? So let's see how this goes. Now the first thing you need to understand here is that what? We have two circles here. We have the rolling circle, which is the one that is moving, and the base circle. The base circle is the fixed path, right, at which the circle is moving upon. Just imagine a car trying to climb a mountain. Now the wheels of the tire of that car is the rolling circle, while the mountain is what? Is the base circle. So you realize that the mountain is fixed, while the movement of the tire is what? Is moving along the circumference of the what? The circle, the standard part of the circle. So let's see how this goes. Now we need to understand that there's a formula that says that d all over what? D. The small d here is the diameter of what? Of the rolling circle, right? Because the diameter of the rolling circle is always small, and the big D is the diameter of what? The base circle, and the base circle is always big, right? Multiplied by what? 300 and what? 360. Are we good now? So now in this case here, now if you look at our diameter, our data here, it says the rolling circle is what? 30 millimeter. That means my D here is what? Is 30. All over this bigger D now, the base circle is what? 90. All over what? 90. Multiplied by what? 360. Right? Now if you do your calculation here, what you'll be having is what? Our angle will be what? 120 degrees. So this angle you are seeing is the angle at which this curved, the base circle formed, right? So that is our angle what? Angle theta, right? Is our angle theta at which the base circle forms. So the angle at which this the wheels of the tire or the cylindric object is forming is what? Let me say it move up to this extent here. The angle it forms is what? Angle theta. Now let's just do that so you get more understanding about this. Now the first thing you need to do is to get your what? Angle what? 120 degree. So remember in our previous video we have what is called our set square, right? This is our set square and this is our 60 degree set square. If I place it this way and I draw my horizontal platform this way, right? Let's see, I will not pick a point at this platform here. Remember when you are drawing your isometric, we say the isometric is constructed on the 30 degree angle, right? Now if I place it this way, if this my set square is sitting on my t square, if I draw, we know very well that the angle on the straight line is 180. So imagine if I place my angle, my set square this way, and I draw this, we all know very well that what? This is angle what? Angle 30 degree, right? If I turn it the other way around also this way, I know very well that what? This is another what? Angle what? Angle 30 degree. Is that okay? Now what do you notice? If you move 30 from 180, another 30 from 180, it means that you have removed 60 from 180. So it means that the angle from here, from this point to this point, right, is 120. The angle from here to here is what? Theta, and that is equals to what? 120 degree. Are we good? Because the angle from here to here, the angle from this point to this point is 30 degree, and the angle from here to here is another what? 30 degree. So if you remove this to 30 from the theta angle on a straight line, 180, we're having 120. So we've gotten this my 120 I calculated here. Now the next thing we need to draw is to draw the base circle. Now the base circle D, our base circle D, which is what? 90 millimeter. Is that what I will take is, I'll take my meter rule and I'm going to measure half of 90, because we're talking about diameter here now, so you need the radius to draw your circle. So I'm going to measure the half of it from 0 to 45 is the half of what? 90. Are we good? So I'll place it at this point here, right, and I'll take it here. I'll just draw my arc this way to stop here. It will be on a faint line. I hope you can see that. Now from here, at this point, this is where my base circle is starting from, and we know that my rolling circle will be moving on the base circle, so this will just be my reference point. I'll call it point what? Point 0. That will be 0, right? Now the rolling circle is what? Is 30. So I'm going to take half of 30, which is what? 15. So from here, 0 to here is 15. From 0, let me show you. From this point here to this point is 15. Right? 1.5 is 15. And I'll place it on this point here. And I'm going to mark up here. You can see that. So I'll take it to this point again to just complete my circle. And I'm going to draw my circle this way. So it will be thicker circle. I hope you can see that. So this is the center of my circle. So this is my round circle that is about to be moving around this curved part. Now the next thing I'll do is I'm going to divide this my circle into 12 equal parts, right? So I'll divide it into 12 equal parts with the help of my t-square. I'll take my set square first. I'll draw a horizontal line passing through the center, right? Now the next thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to take my set square, moving it on my t-square to that same center point. I will draw the vertical line. You can see that. Now the next thing is I'll sit it down at an angle of 30. So it will be like this. And the next thing I'll do, I'll turn it the other way around. I already have this already. Then the next thing I'll do, I'm going to stand it up also at an angle of 60 like this. The angle here is 60. I'll place it here, and I'm going to do this, right? And I'll face it to the left hand side also to repeat the same feat. Now this is what I have done. Knowing full well that these are 0, right? So we are going in a clockwise direction. So we are going in this direction clockwise, right? So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Now what I'm going to do is, now I should be able to zoom this so you get to see what I'm doing here. I should be able to zoom this so you see what I'm doing here. Now, very good. So from here, I will place my compass at this point at 6. I'm going to draw this to touch the other aspect here. Hope you can see that. So push there. Let me take it down a little bit. Okay, better. So now the next thing I'll do is I'll go to the next. This is 6. This is 0 here, and that is 6, right? So that's the first thing I'll do, and I'll get the center line, the center of the circle. If I place it at this point, I'll go to the center, right? And I'm going to do this. So this is the center of the circle, and that will be the entire circle. So I'll call this to be my center C, right? So now the next thing I'll do is I need to divide this my curve into 12 also. So how will I do that? It will be more easier when I use my protractor, right? Now what I'll do here is this. I'm going to take my protractor, and this is my protractor here, right? And it is calibrated in degree. Now what I'll do is I'll place it this way on, you can see this point here, I'll put it at the center here, right? So put it at the center there, like this. Now I'll show this long line here. This line here is on this line here. So place it this way. You can see that, right? So what I'm going to do is, you can see what I'm doing. As I place it here, then if you notice it, this is my 0 here, forming on the same line. This is 0, this will be 1, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, then what? 12. You can see that? So I will take my rule and I'm going to join all those points. Like, how will I do that? From this point, pass it through each of those points. From here I have this. I'll draw this to move down to here, to the next one also. I'll do the same thing down to here, for the next one also. I'll repeat it for every point. For every point. For every point. So this is what we have. So this would be my center. This would be C1 because it's on 1. This would be C2. This would be C3. This would be C4. This would be C5. This would be C6. This would be C7. This will be C8, C9, C10, C11, and what? C12. So center 1, center 2, and so on and so forth, right? So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to repeat the same feat. You know, initially this first one has 0 here. This will be my C0 here, right? So I use the radius of 15 to get this. Right, I use the radius of 15 to get this, so I'll use the same radius for everything I have here. So this is at C0. I'll go to C1, I'll draw my circle 2. Then I'll get that at C1. Right? So I'm going to do that. So that is C1. So it means that first circle, C1 means first circle, right? Then I'll go to this point. I'll go to 1. Since I'm dealing with C1, I'll go to 1. I'm going to draw my arc this way. Right? I place at the center here. I take it to point 1. And I'll draw this circle here. Right? So where circle 1 touch line 1, this is line 1 here. Where circle 1 touch line 1 at this point. All good? Where circle 1 touch line 1 is at that point. Here. Circle 1 line 1. This is the beginning here. Circle 1 line 1. Then mind you, if you look at circle 1, if you look at line 1, it is cutting through 11. Right? So 1 and 11 are the same point. So I can go to center 11 also. Place it here. Right? At the radius of this, the highest point here, I'm going to do the same thing. Right? So now if 1 is at the left hand side, then 11 will be at the right hand side. So where circle 11 will touch line 11, because if you notice 1 is at the right hand side, this is the line dividing both of them. So 1 is at the right hand side and 1 is at the left hand side, 11 is at the right hand side. So I mark the right hand side of the left hand side of the circle here, and I marked the right hand side of the circle here. Right? Now I'll do the same thing. I'll go to circle 2 with radius here, the highest point. I'm going to draw my circle. Right? Now I will now move to this point and go to 2. Right? And I'll just draw this line that will touch here. Right? So from here, where circle 2 touch this line 2 and it's touching circle 2 here. All good? Where? At the right hand, at the left hand side. Then I'll go to, and if you notice it, 2 and 10, this line is cutting both 2 and 10. So I'll go to 10, also center 10. I'll draw another circle again. Right? And I'm going to draw this. So where it cuts, this will be at this point here, because this is 10 here. Am I correct? Yes. This is the line of 10. Right? So the same thing, I'll come to 3. I'll do the same thing at 3. Right? I'll do the same thing at 3. 2. Do it at 3. Now you look where you now place it here and go to point 3 at this point here, and I'm going to draw it this way. Now what do you notice? 3 and 9 are on the same point, right? So where the 3 is cutting this to be at this point, right? So where circle 3 cuts line 3. Now the next one, 3 and 9 at the same point. I'll go to 9 also. Most times it's not necessary you draw the circle. I can come here and say, okay, my point 9, this is where it is at B. So my point 9 will go and cut line 9, which is this. This is, you trace it, this is 9. So this is where it cut line 9. So I'll just easily mark the point. So this is the point here. Don't necessarily draw the circle, but let me just draw the circle just for simplicity's sake. Right? So I'll just draw that. Now the next one will be circle 4. I'll draw circle 4, place it at 4, go to center 4, and I'll draw. Right? So where circle 4, I'll come to this point, I'll go to line 4, point 4 to draw line 4. And I'm having this, right? So where is circle 4 cutting line 4? This is circle 4 here. It's cutting line 4 at this point. This is line 4 here. If you look at 4, and what do you notice? This line of 4 is the same thing as, it's touching the same point 8. So I'll go to point 8 here, center 8 here. I'm going to draw my circle here, right? So where circle 8 touch is at this point here. If you look at the point 8 here, 8 and 4 is on the same point, right? Now we'll go to 5, also center 5. I'll do the same thing. I'll draw my circle at 5, right? And I'll go to this point here. I'll go to point 5 here, right? I'm going to draw my point. Is that taken? So where the circle 5 touch point 5 is here. So the same thing, 5 and 7 are the same point. So I'll go to center 7 also. I'm going to do the same thing. So 5 and 7 have the same line. So this is the line of 5 and 7, they are moving. So it's touching it at this point here. Right? Then for 6, I'll draw for 6. I'll do the same thing, circle for 6. To only have 1 point on 6. So on that point will just be on top here. Line 6 is always touching point 6. So where those points meet, I'm going to draw the locus of that point, or the parts at which that circle is moving. So I'll come here and I'll do this. So let's use our French curve to draw this point. So we are going to take 3 points. 3 points or 4. Can you see? These 3 points here is touching each other. Or you can just take 3 at a time. Let me take 3 at a time. From this point here, this is 0. This is where 12 point meets here. You need 1, we need 12 if you want to. This is at this point here. So I'll come here. I'll just take this 4, this 3, this 4 here, right? Then I'll come here also, take another point again, this 3. Come here also, I'll take another 3 also, these 3 points. I'll come here also, take another 3 points also again here, these 3 points. Ensure those points I'm meeting. Then I'll come here also, I'll take this 3 point also here also, right? So you should use to be more accurate. So this is the epicycloid, right? So this is our epicycloid, and this is the locus, or the parts made by those points on the rolling circle. So this is what we have. If I take it down, right? So this is my epicycloid. So thanks for watching. If this video was helpful, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.